fueling tire, voices crackling through the night, fast lane tails ignite, gear shifts sweat on the track, cold-blooded eyes staring back, metals clashing, heartbeat race, speed and scales in the same space, stories of speed spinning wild, fury and cold blood compiled, revving up, adrenaline high, fast and fierce, know how to apply, gear shift sweat on the track, cold-blooded eyes staring back, metals clashing, heartbeat race, speed and scales in the same space, stories of speed spinning wild, fury.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Speedway Stories on the Nonsensical Network. We're here 7 days a week. Check us out at our bio link, Nonsensical Network. We have shows every night of the week. Plus, check out on Facebook and Instagram, Beauty and the Beard, that get with Nikki about any of your custom stuff. She does our swag and everything else. And if you want anything custom, just hit her up and stuff. She can hook you up. Tonight's episode, we're going to just recap the racing weekend on stuff that I've checked up on and everything else, and some news that happened in the racing world and everything else. So, to start with, another weekend, drag racing went on down in Florida for the World Series of Pro Mod. It was the last race of that series this year, and a lot of guys showed out and everything else and did really good. I wanted to talk about a particular class that had a lot of turnout for it, which is called Little Gangsters. It's a 530 heads-up class, and the guy that actually, him and his partner that created the class, Jimmy Dale Racing, shout out to him, ended up out of, I think it was 68 cars, out of a 32 field and everything else, ended up winning it all. And it was on the grand stage of them all. It was on Flow Racing over the weekend. I mean, it's pretty good, I think, budget-friendly heads-up class for the people that can't compete and, your big class racing and stuff. And plus, this weekend, there was some controversy going on down over the weekend with one of the local racers that I know personally and everything else. He ended up getting disqualified. I don't know the whole details on everything. It was, what I've read was about he was 2 pounds underweight for the class he was in, and he was in the semifinals going to the final round, and they had some issues and ended up getting DQ'd. But from what I was reading, they got things squared away and moving on to the next. But yeah, the Little Gangsters class is, it's a pretty neat class. It originated basically out of Texas. These guys, Michael Pollan and Jimmy Dale. Michael Pollan is of Nitrous Express. If you guys need any of your nitrous needs or anything, hit them up. But they, they put this class together for kind of like your budget heads-up racing. I think it's kind of similar like index racing. You can't run no faster than 530 in the class. But, it's neat seeing these cars. You're seeing a lot of racers jump into this program, and I think it's going to be a big thing if it takes off. It's been great. They always do good things with it from what I've watched on YouTube when they do them down in Texas and everything else. And seen the videos of that, and there was a bunch of local guys that was in there. The Hoskins family, Billy and Tommy, were down there racing from Street Racing Channel and Gen 2 Garage. They raced in the class. Billy made it down to 8 cars with the truck, the OG, his S10. So, it was a lot of competitive racing. I think it'll be a good series that could take off for a lot of tracks if they follow the same guidelines, everything else that Jimmy and them put in and Michael put in place. It was amazing just to see the reactions of some of the people's videos on YouTube from this past weekend. And then another drag racing news, if anybody follows the Street Outlaws, No Prep Kings Racing and everything else, they have changed the name now. It is known as Speed Promotions Racing. took over for the No Prep Kings and putting on the races and everything else this year. They do have the 2025 schedule out. They will be coming in June to one of the local tracks again at National Trails Raceway here in Ohio. So, but I'm waiting to see the driver's list who's all on it. But so far, one I know that so far has been leaking out is Ryan Martin's definitely going to be one of them, and Murder Nova. Those guys I know at least are going to be on because that's what they had on the YouTube. But you never know until they release the whole list of drivers. I think me personally, one of the drivers they left off the list that watching him over the years, even in no time racing, grudge racing game, it's Justin Swanstrom. I mean, he's brought a lot to the racing with his racing program. Him and his dad. I mean, those guys has got an amazing program down there out of Florida. And he did phenomenal the last couple of years that he was in No Prep Kings, but found out he wasn't one of the ones invited back. So we're going to see he going to do any radial racing or anything else. But we'll find out. I know he's doing some pro mod racing. He's got some big races coming up that he was going to enter in with his car prenup and stuff, and a few of his other cars. But we'll wait to see on that, and I'll give more detail on what his plans are for the season and everything else, and we'll go from there. But yeah, that's some of the news, and then local news I found out reading through our acquaintance of mine that's a big drag racer around here, are one of the tracks up in West Salem, Ohio. The IHRA ended up buying the track, or it's known as Dragway 42. So, I mean, the old owners are going to still be able to run it and stuff, but IHRA is now the owner sanctioning track for up there in West Salem. So hopefully they got more big things coming and stuff, but they're going to continue with their schedules. So that's on that ordeal. And that's what's going on that I know of right now for that. There's more details to come what's going on. So, but right around now, coming up here in another month or two, weather permitting here in Ohio, some of the trucks will start racing and everything else. Trails that I mentioned that has, which is Speedway Promotion Racing, they open up April 12th with a no prep king style, like street race and everything else. They put on a lot of local racers and people come for that. That's going to be a race coming up for April 12th for there. And that's it on the drag racing side. Now on the NASCAR side, I don't know. I mean, I was talking with one of the guys on the channel yesterday on with two of them, with Glick and Rick, about they brought up about NASCAR. I know a lot of people like it. A lot of people don't like the change. The thing we were talking about is how technical the aerodynamics on these cars are now compared to in the past, where you could pretty much rip your fender and everything off and still be a competitive car. Rick brought a good point up. Now, with the aerodynamics and the way the tin's done, you're really not even, I don't know, it seems like you're not even a top 10 contender by putting a dent in your car. I mean, it's crazy how far they've come along with the body and stuff. I think they need to kind of go back to the ways it was. Me and Benji's talked about it here on the show. They need to implement some more road course racing, do like Le Mans style, everything. But yeah, the body structure of these cars compared to what they were, you could, like Rick said, you could throw duct tape and everything on the cars and still go out there and go racing and everything else and still be a top 10 car, top 5 even, with a lot of them. But yeah, it's just, I mean, I get it that they're for the newer generation trying to get people in, but they got to open their ideas, expand. I mean, the Infinity series that's below, they're kind of still like old school and everything else with the racing, and it keeps it interesting. And ARCA's doing big things too. I mean, there's some guys that are coming up that are phenomenal in the last two races that they've had. I mean, You've seen at the Daytona where Cletus McFarland, Garrett Mitchell, he was doing great until he got caught up in the wreck and everything else. That's just, it's people living their dreams and stuff. But yeah, just NASCAR needs to open up their eyes up and kind of take some ideas from other people. But that's just my opinion. It's just not the same, and I can't really stand to watch it anymore. It's just not like I grew up on. I know I get times has changed and everything else, but back to the money talks, bullshit walks kind of deal. So they got to please their sponsors and all this stuff. Then in another racing, I seen where Haley Deegan's doing the IndyCar series now, smaller IndyCar series. She just did her first race and stuff. I follow her dad on Instagram about her first time in an IndyCar and everything else. She was doing pretty good at the practices, I guess, and everything. So we'll see what that brings for her, if she can do better in the IndyCar series. So what's up, Benji? See what they can do with that aspect. But me personally, it's a definite big difference for her going from the Infinity Series to the Formula Series. We'll see what she does with it. Maybe she'll actually succeed at it. So, but yeah. Give me 1 second here. But yeah, it's this season's coming up. And then we got dirt track racing season started for a lot of guys. They've been racing down south. Oh, me too, man. She looked good from the videos that her dad was posting of her racing. She looks better in a Formula car than she did one of the NASCARs. She actually looked decent. So, but give me 1 minute, please. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting for her when she gets it done. But yeah, there's a lot going on. Especially up here in Ohio. The racing season for up here depends on the weather. It usually starts around April. Everything else, so they've got schedules released for all the tracks, pretty much. Other than my local track down the road from me, I don't know what's going on with it. Still waiting to see what's happening with that. So, and motocross. I'm going to talk a little bit of dirt bike racing. Levi Kitchens, watched some highlights from that race. He had a gnarly wreck in the 250 race. Was hospitalized for the night just to be checked out. He went, flipped over his handlebars and everything else, landed pretty hard. But the main event was the 450 class. Ken Rosen got a podium. He ended up winning the race down at the second Daytona race down there this past weekend. And Aaron Plessinger for KTM Cowboy, one of my favorite riders. One of the three favorites I like, top three. He finally got on the podium this year and actually did good. So we'll see what happens the rest of the year for this outdoor cross. It's an open thing because Eli Tomac's out until they start the outdoor series and everything else. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with him and that team and everything. And then hopefully Kitchens can bounce back and get himself back into the picture for the 250 class. If not, at least for the outdoor series, he'll be should be ready for that. Oh boy! But yeah, there's been a lot going on. Just seeing online and stuff, just following up on a lot of things that in the racing community. A lot of guys are bringing out different cars, different things. A lot of drivers are changing racing aspects. Some are going from drag racing to the NASCAR to Formula and everything else. So, it's going to be interesting to see how a lot of them adjust to different styles and everything. So, but other than that, I really don't have much else to talk about unless somebody's got anything they want to ask or talk about at all. Let's see, 1 second here. Oops. Messed up. Yeah, it's just one of those deals. It's like with what little bit of down south racing. You're right, Benji. I mean, it covers a little bit of everything. Yeah, the big time races and stuff are coming up. I mean, yeah, we had, like I said, we had the Daytona 500 there back in February. Like I said, motocross has been going on for a little while because of their stadium series and everything that they got. But yeah, with drag racing, there's been down in Florida at Bradenton Motorsports Speedway and everything. They've had the World Series of Pro Mod. Duck just had his race lights out at South Georgia Motorsports Park. So, I mean, here soon, April coming around the corner, May, summer kicking off. I'll have a lot more to talk about and everything else, and hopefully have some videos up, some of the races and everything else that I'm going to try to go to if I can around here locally to just get you guys involved. And yeah, you're right, Benji. That's pretty much the only racing. Well, that and of course down south right now, I talked to Devin Moran he does late model racing for like the Lucas Oil series, and they've been racing down in Florida and everything else. Him and Carpenter and a bunch of the guys. So yeah, it's just the people that want to still race. They get year round. They go down south and they hit the circuits down there for the racing until the stuff hits off up here in the northern states and everything. So we'll see. I think it's gonna be an exciting season, drag racing. For circle track racing, formula racing, I mean, any of it. We have up here in Ohio, we have the rough truck racing and everything else at the local fairs and everything. And with that, too, they do jamborees over in Indianapolis where it's show and shine, mud rust racing, tough truck racing and stuff. It's pretty neat event that they do for the truck community. But yeah, everything pretty much doesn't kick off, like Benji was saying in the comments, really kick off until next month, at the end of next month and everything else when the weather hits warmer all over. And then there'll be a lot to talk about on Monday nights with the racing community. And everything else. And I'm still trying to work on getting some of my buddies that race rough truck and some dirt track racing and stuff to come on. And may have to do pre-recordings for them because of their schedule. I don't know yet when I get some confirmation from a few of them because of the way the hours are. We'll see what happens. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much all I got for tonight for the Speedway side. Tune in tomorrow night for Glick's House of Music. He's going to have a special guest on the show. Wednesdays is What the Fuck News with Jeff and Glick. It's everything that makes you go, what the fuck? If it happens in the news, they'll figure it out and go. And it's, like I said, it's What the Fuck News makes you say it. Thursday nights is my Cold Blooded Conversations. It's my other show of the conversations. I'm on here talking reptiles and anything, deals with cold-blooded animals and stuff. I'm even willing to talk mammals and anything. But mostly it's the reptile side of the community, and I'm working that as well, getting a few more guests and stuff to come on and talk how the communities impact them and everything. Just trying to expand that out. It's kind of hard with a lot of them's got breeding season going on with the reptiles right now and dealing with that. And so we'll see what happens on that aspect. And then Friday night is Nonsense and Chill with Blaze and Jeff. Come in. The chats are always open in all our shows, just to let you know. Be civil and everything else. But they movie nights and stuff. And end of the month, they will have a trivia that's open to anybody. It's going to be a fantasy movies and stuff at the end of the month. And then Saturday night is the main stable of this channel, Nonsensical Nonsense. Come and join us for the craziness on Saturday nights with the guys. It's an open panel. If you dare to jump in with us and shoot the shit and just talk and everything else, just be civil, no politics, and keep your genitalias in your pants. And make sure we see you on camera and stuff, but tune into that night. And this Saturday, too, is Cash's Corner. Glick and Cash will be recapping this last weekend's Elimination Chamber. It's usually on around 1, noonish, 1 o'clock. If you like WWE wrestling, tune in. I usually pop in because I'm a big wrestling fan, too, and I talk the show and everything else with those guys. And then Sunday is Unnecessary Roughness with Rick, Glick, and Derek when he's got time, when he's not writing music and everything else. And they talk everything sports here now. And they'll have a guest on here for this Sunday for men's fitness and stuff on there this weekend. So check them out. And then, of course, we're back here Monday night with Speedway Stories. Hopefully there's some more good racing going on this weekend and everything else. So give you guys some more highlights and shoot the shit and everything again. So I appreciate y'all tuning in for tonight. And Benji, thank you for jumping in the chat, man. And I'll get with you next week to have you come on so we can recap everything and talk some more stuff about the upcoming season. But I appreciate all tuning in. Like I said, check out the bio link down on the bottom of the screen. And make sure you check out Beauty and the Beard on Facebook and Instagram. Hit Nikki up for any swag, even for the Nonsensical Network. If there's something custom you want done, too, for yourself, just let her know and she'll get with you. You guys have a good evening. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Nonsensical Network, different flavor every day. Movie talks, new flicks hitting the display. Microphone magic, musicians spill the praise. From reptiles to motorsports, burning rubber craze. Football crashes, touchdowns, epic plays. News spinning, catching on the latest phase. Gleaming cars, engines roaring up the pace. Street tales, urban stories we embrace. Tune in, every week diverse. Groove to the beats, let the rhythm immerse. Lyrics flowing, ciphers full of verse. Nonsensical Network, feel the universe. Interviews buzzing, stars in the circuit. Worlds of tapestry, pieces we interpret. Hip-hop to rap, the flow never stagnant. Reptilian tales, nature's arrangement. Cars with muscle, engines with might. Motorsports roaring, speed in the night. Discussions heated, always a delight. Network of nonsense, but the vibe's just right. Tune in, wait for that beat. Flow so seamless, feeling so sweet. Urban grooves, rhythm from the street. Nonsensical Network, always on repeat.